Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum dear students. I am Arif and I welcome you all to the next session of the lecture series on Internet Working with Linux. In the previous session we talked about the World Wide Web, which is a repository of web pages distributed all over the world on different computers. We also talked about Hypertext Transfer Protocol, which is a vehicle used to move web pages over the internet. I also described the overall architecture of a web application, in which I touched upon the concept of a browser, a web server, as well as the client and the server-side programming languages. If this sounds a bit Greek to you, please view the previous session before starting with this one. As a continuity to our previous session, let us suppose that we have created a website or maybe a single web page and we want the entire world to access it using their favorite browsers from their homes or workplaces. For this to work, we need to host all the web pages and other necessary files of our website on a machine having a public IP address and running a web server on it. There are free as well as paid hosting services that are available to us on the internet. And in both the cases, whenever you are selecting a hosting server, you must decide whether you need a Linux or a Windows-based server. You need to decide the technologies your website requires, like servlets, JSP, PHP, Python or Perl. The requirement of any DBMS like MySQL or Oracle. The processing and connection speed you need, the disk space you required, email accounts, backup facilities, and so on. Right, dear students, after you have finalized the web hosting server, you just need to copy all the required text, image, audio and video files that comprise your website on that web server using, let's say, the FTP service. But in today's session, we are going to host our web pages on our Ubuntu server machine, which will be running the Apache web server, and will of course access the website on our Ubuntu server machine using a browser from our Kali machine. So let's start playing. Right now I'm on my Ubuntu server machine. If config, you can see our Ubuntu server machine has a private IP address of 192.168.1.100. So it will only be accessible in our local area network. The first thing we need to do is to install our web server. And the web server that we have selected for today's session is the Apache web server. Well, dear students, the name Apache has been taken from a Native American tribe that is famous for its skills in warfare and strategy making. Apache is open source and is available for all Unisys, Mac, Linux, and Microsoft platforms. Let us install it on our Ubuntu server machine. apt-get install Apache 2. Well, it is the latest version already. Let me also install the package that provides documentation for Apache 2. Let me check the version, and it is 2.4.18, the latest one. And as usual, whenever you install some package or some server, you need to visit its man page. man Apache 2. Well, do read this man page at the time of your ease. Apache 2 is HTTP server program. It is designed to be run as a standalone daemon process. When used like this, it will create a pool of child processes or threads to handle requests, so on and so forth. Let me quit, clear screen, and let me start the Apache service. Systemctl start Apache 2.server, Apache CHE 2. Service. Okay, let me enable it as well. Whenever you enable a service, that means on every boot the service gets started automatically. Let me check the status. Okay, well, it is up and running. Let me clear screen and also check out netstat-ant. Let me grep 80. Well, it is listening on port 80. Okay, fine. So let us move down to our Kali machine, and the IP address of our Kali machine is sudo if config 192.168.1.101. It is on the same network, so we should be able to access it. Inside a browser, let me write down http://192.168.1.100, the IP address of the Ubuntu server machine, :80, the port we want to access, and let me press enter. Wow. So this is the default Apache 2 page. If I write down, instead of the IP address, let me write down Ubuntu server over here, and if I do like this, it goes on to another place. Let me open another tab and write down http Ubuntu server :80, and the same page is again there. Okay, so we have been able to access this because on our Kali machine, inside the file /host, we do have the mapping of Ubuntu server IP with the name Ubuntu server. So that is why I have been able to access the Ubuntu server with the IP address as well as the name. Well, dear students, this page is coming from the Ubuntu server machine from a directory that is normally called the document root directory. Let me move on to that directory, cd to var www.html. And if I do ls, you can see the index.html file over here. Let me less this index.html file. Oh, well, this is that file which has been sent to our Kali machine on this browser. So that means our Apache server is up and running. Now, dear students, let us set up our directory structure over here inside var www.html, and let me see that. Yes, I have created a directory over here with the name of demo1, and this demo1 has a index.html file that I have created myself. Let me cat this file. is a very basic file which says welcome to the world of Apache web server by Arif. Okay, now I want to access this file from my Kali machine. So for this to work, what I need to do is I need to do http:192.168.1.100, the port 80, and then let me put a slash and let me write the directory demo1 and let me write index.html over here, the exact path of that file. So the file has been sent by the server to the client, which is being displayed in front of us. Okay, if I do not write this index.html over here and press and enter, even then you are seeing the same file over here, because over here on our Ubuntu server machine, inside the demo1 directory, there is a file that is index.html. So this index.html file is sent to the client over here. What if the name of this index.html is not index.html? Let's check out. Let me change this name to my index.html. Okay, now this var.html slash demo1 directory do not have an index.html file. Let me type the path again, 192.168.1.100 demo1 and press enter. Since the document root directory this time do not have the index.html file, so this time it has displayed the directory listing of demo1 directory. In some cases, this is a security concern, and you may not like that people should be able to view these files over here. For example, I can click first.html. Okay, I can see secret.txt. So secret.txt is not being shown over here. This is probably because you can see the secret.txt file do not have read permission for other. However, if it has read permissions, it would have been displayed. Let me show this to you as well. chmod 666, let's suppose, secret.txt. So now if I come over here and if I check secret.txt, you can see the contents of secret.txt file. So it is always better that you do not give permissions to your secret files, which are there in your document root directory. Okay, up to now we have not made any changes in any of the configuration files of Apache server. Let us view the configuration files and see if we can disable this directory listing of our demo1 directory. Okay, dear students, on all Debian based systems like Ubuntu, Apache keeps its configuration files in /c apache2 directory. Let me clear screen and move to /c apache2 directory and let me do ls. You can see a lot of files over here. Right now the file of our concern is apache2.conf, which is the main configuration file. This envars file contains environment variables. Ports.conf file contains information about ports on which Apache listens, normally 80 for HTTP and 443 for HTTPS. We will talk about sites available, sites enabled directory and other directories in the due course of time. But right now the task in hand is just to disable the directory listing of our demo1 directory. So let me open this file apache2.conf. Okay, This contains configuration settings like, for example, the timeout, that is 300, keep alive, that is on, that is we want persistent connections. But right now, let me move down and give the path of my document root directory, that is var www.html demo1, and enable this option, that is options hyphen indexes. This option will ensure that the directory listing of demo1 directory will not be sent to the client even if there is no index.html file in this directory. Okay, let me save and exit, clear screen, and let me restart the service. Systemctl restart Apache 2.service. So this service is up, and now if I refresh this page, you see you get a forbidden message. You cannot see that file. If you want to see that file, you need to name it myindex.html. Okay, so this was the basic website, a single page website that is there on our Apache server and has been accessed on our Kali machine on this browser, and we have ensured that the directory listing of the document root directory should not be sent to the client, and all is going fine. Alright, dear students, we have seen this demo of a static web page. Let us change gear and see a demo of a dynamic web page. And let us use PHP for creating a dynamic web page. Well, you all might be knowing that PHP is an acronym for Hypertext Preprocessor, and it is created in 1994 by Rasmus Lerdof. PHP is an open source server-side scripting language that runs on all Unisys, Linux, Mac, and Microsoft platforms, and is compatible with most web servers like Apache as well as with IIS. PHP can do a lot of tasks for us, like generating dynamic page contents. It can collect form data. It can create, open, read, write, delete, and close files on the server. It can be used to connect to a variety of databases, add, modify, and delete records in them. It can be used to send and receive cookies, can encrypt data, and the list goes on and on. So let us just clear screen and try to install it. apt-get install PHP. After you install PHP, you also need to install libapache 2-mod-php. Well, this package contains dynamic files for the PHP modules that are required for Apache 2. Let me take this opportunity to install php-mysql as well. And this package contains dynamic shared objects that add MySQL database support to PHP. And for encryption, let me install php-mcrypt. And this mcrypt package contains dynamic shared objects that add encryption support to PHP. So once we are done with installing PHP on our Linux server, which also is running Apache, let us write a very basic dynamic web page that displays the current date and time whenever requested. Let me cd to var www.html. To save time again, I have written a basic PHP file in the demo2 directory, whose name is currentdate.php. Let me cat it. Okay. A PHP file can contain HTML, CSS, JavaScript, as well as PHP code. Over here, you can see a very simple HTML code, and within that the two lines of PHP script that were enclosed in the opening and closing tag of PHP, question mark PHP and question mark greater than sign. Well, dear students, you might be knowing that in PHP you don't need to declare a variable. You just create it and assign it a value, the way I'm doing, $date is equal to. And this date function, which is there are tons of functions that are available, and date is one of them, which returns the current date and time in the specified format. In the second line of the PHP script, you can see the echo command. You can use print as well. Both are used to display strings. You can use echo with or without parentheses. So right now we have another web page of ours, which is located in var www.html demo2, and the name of the file is currentdate.php. Remember, gentlemen, var www.html is the document root directory, and within that we have demo2 directory. So over here, let me open another tab and type the address http 192.168.1.100:80/demo2. If I press demo2 and find out, you can see the directory contents of this directory, because we have not disabled demo2 directory listing. So let me write down currentdate.php, and now you can see this script is run over here, and the date is sent back to the server. If I refresh this, please note the time, that is 22:58:06. If I press this line, we refresh it, you can see the time is changing. So every time I request, I get a fresh copy of the page. So every time I request page, the PHP script is executed on the server side, and the plain HTML result is sent back to the server machine. Let me refresh again. So it is 56 now. Okay, dear students, over here now, let me clear screen. We are done with demo 1 and demo 2. Let me remove this arif.2.com for the time being, since it is a directory. So let me say -rf. Okay, clear screen, less. So we are done with demo 1 and demo 2. In demo 1, I have created a static web page, and in demo 2, I have created a dynamic web page, and I have accessed both these websites from the Kali machine using the browser. Suppose instead of using this address, that is 192.168.1.100/demo2/currentdate, I just want to use an address like, suppose, http:// and the name of my website, suppose arif1.com. I want that whenever I press arif1.com, this page should be sent to me over here. Right now, remember, this is trying to connect, and finally it will fail because there is no document root directory over here with the name of arif1.com. Let me close this, close this as well. Open a new tab, write down http arif1.com and press enter. So it is trying to connect, but since there is no document root directory with this name, so I don't get anything. Let us do this. Move over here, clear screen. I'm right now in var www.html. Let me make a directory mkdir arif1.com. I have that directory. Let me cd to this arif.1.com, which is of course empty. Let me copy a file from the demo1 directory with the name of myindex.html in arif.com with the name of index.html. So instead of creating a new file, I'm just copying it. Let me open it in Vim and let me write down over here something else. Welcome to the index page of arif.1.com. Okay, so that's fine. Let me clear screen. So right now arif.1.com has a file index.html that says this, and I just want that this website should be accessible on my Kali machine using a very simple address like this, and it says server not found. If I want to access this, I can, however, http://192.168.1.180/ and I know the name of that directory, that is arif.1.com. If I press enter, you see the welcome page. But I don't want to access this website like with this address, followed the IP address and then the arif.1.com and then the index.html file. I just want to access this file by just writing http://arif.1.com, and it is not accessible this way. You can see it is accessing it but not getting the page. And for this to work, we need to do some more configurations to Apache web server. Let's do that. Let me cd to Apache 2 directory, and in that directory we have talked about apache2.com file already. Now I am interested in two directories, that is the sites available and sites enabled directory. Well, this sites available directory, let me move to sites available directory and let me do ls. This directory contains all the virtual host files that define different websites. And by default, it contains two files. One is 000 default.conf, which is used for HTTP website, and the other is default-ssl.conf that is used for HTTPS websites. Remember the document root directory over here. In this file, let me less 000. You can see this file. Okay. You can see over here. Yes, document root /var/www/html. While in my case, the document root will be var www.html arif.1.com. So let me clear screen. Instead of writing this entire file again, let me copy this file and copy it to with the name of arif.1.com.conf. So it has been copied. Let me open it in an editor and make certain changes in this file. The first change I want to make is the server name is let me say server name is arif.1.com. The server admin is webmaster or admin. Let me make it admin. Admin at arif.1.com, and the document root directory is within HTML. I have arif.1.com. Okay, you can always add an alias to this server alias, and that can be arif.1.com. Over here you may like to add www preceded with arif.1.com. So these are the 4 lines, probably will suffice. Let me save and quit. Now remember, once we have made changes to this file, we also need to make this file available in the sites enabled directory as well. Let me show you the listing of sites available, and let me show you the listing of sites enabled. And the sites enabled directory, you do not see arif.1.com. So we need to create a soft link of arif.1.com.conf file in sites enabled directory. So instead of doing it manually, we can use the command a2n site arif.1.com.conf, and now if I do ls sites enabled, you can see the soft link is created in sites enabled directory of arif.1.com. So finally the configuration is done. You just need to restart the service now. systemctl restart Apache 2.service. Well, it is up and running. Over here, let me now try to fulfill my wish, that is accessing my website with the name of arif.1.com. So once I press enter, you can see still we are unable to access it. So what's the problem? Okay, so actually this is a host name, that is arif.1.com, and it is not registered in the domain name server, nor the Kali machine has this entry in its file @chost. You do not have the entry over here. So let me put the entry over here. Let me write vim @chost and do it with the sudo command. And let me create an alias for 192.168.1.100, and that is arif.1.com. Save and exit, and let me press and enter over here. Welcome to the index page of arif.1.com. Right, dear students, let me tell you what I have done. I have put an entry in the sites available and the sites enabled directory, an entry of a configuration file with the name of the host name, that is arif.1.com. Then I have restarted the service, and after that I can access the Ubuntu server with arif.1.com. Whenever I write arif.1.com, the request goes to var www.html arif.1.com. The request goes to this directory, and within this directory we have the index.html file which is sent over here. Okay, dear students, we have successfully hosted one website, that is arif.1.com. Let us host another website, arif.2.com. 2.com, because on a single web server you can host multiple websites. That is the concept of shared hosting. Okay, so let me clear screen. Remember, I am in var.html where we have arifpart1.com directory. Let me create another directory with the name of arifpart2.com. Okay, we have arifpart2.com, ls arifpart2.com, and it's empty. Let me copy some existing web documents from, let's suppose, demo3 to arifpart2.com, and now let me ls arifpart2.com. Well, I have two files over here. One is index.html and the other is process.php. We'll talk about the contents of these files a bit later. Right now, let us do the required configurations for this website as well, as we have done a while ago. So let me copy @Apache true sites available, and in that I have arifpart1.com.conf, and let me copy this existing configuration file to the same location, that is @Apache2 sites available, and in that let me copy it with the name of arifpart2.com. Let me make certain changes in that file. @Apache2 sites available arifpart2.com. Let me open that and just change the server name from arifpart1.com to 2.com. Change the alias as well, the server admin, and of course the document root directory. And that is it. Let me save and exit. Clear screen. Let me put its entry in the sites enabled directory with a2 and site command. That is going to use arifpart2.com.conf. Okay, and then I need to restart systems ctl restart Apache 2.service. So the configurations are active now. Okay, right, dear student, let me cd to arifpart2.com. Before we access this index.html and process.php file over here, let's see the contents of these two files. Let me cat index.html. Okay, so this is a HTML file with a form. You can see the action is process.php, and this action specifies where to send the form data when a form is submitted. So whenever this form is submitted, the data will go to a file that is process.php, which is of course there in the same working directory. The method is get. The method basically specifies the HTTP method to use when sending form data. Both get and post can be used, and they both create an array of the form key is equal to value, where key is the name of the form control and value is the input data that has been inputted by the user. And then we have a text field and a password field and a submit button. So that's simple. Let me cat the other file, that is process.php. Okay, so this is a PHP file. Over here you can see I have embedded the PHP code within the HTML code. The first line of PHP code creates a variable with the name, and underscore get is basically a super global of PHP that is always accessible regardless of its scope. This underscore get is actually an array of variables passed to the current script. We can access the input value by mentioning the name of the form control, and I have written uname over here to get the name, and the PW p word to get the password. And then I have compared if the name that user entered is Kakamana and the password the user entered is PUCIT. I send a welcome message to the client. Otherwise, I send a sorry message to the client. So it is quite simple. So let me move on to over here, and let me write down now http colon 192.168.1.100. Remember, you can write down the name of the Ubuntu server over here as well, and then you need to put a colon, then 80, and then so on the address. But we don't need to do this. We just need to write down arif.but2.com. So once again, the server is not found because we again need to put an entry on the Kali machine saying that 192.168.1.100 is also an alias of arif.but2.com. Let me save and exit, and let me refresh this page now. Once I refresh this page, it is not coming up. Okay, so let me see if I have an issue. Cat etc host arif.but2.com. So this is what I have written correctly over here. It should be able to access it. Let me open another page, write down http colon arif.but2.com, press enter, and well, yes, it is working. So this form is being displayed over here. Remember, this is the form that is being displayed via this index.html. And let me write down arif but okay, and let me write down the password as 1234, and let me press login. I don't want to remember. You can see the message sent here is, sorry Mr. Arif, but your username and or password are incorrect, because this information is sent to the process.php file. Let me open that for you over the server. And of course, this username and password does not match Kakamana and PUCIT. Let me open another page, and let me write down http colon arif.but2.com, and let me enter this time Kakamana with a double N, and password is PUCIT. Let me press enter, and you see the welcome message. Well, that's great. Okay, one more thing, dear students, I just want to touch upon is you can see that the contents have been sent via this. Uname is equal to Kakamana, pwd, password is equal to PUCIT. So all the form data, that is variable names and the values that are there in the form, are displayed in the URL. This is because we are using the get method. So it is always better not to use get for sending sensitive information like password. Another limitation of using the HTTP get method is the maximum length of the characters that can be sent is limited to 2000. Okay, now instead of using get, let me use the post method now. Let me come back over here. Let me do vim index.html. Okay, so let me change the method to post, P-O-S-T. Okay, save and exit, clear screen. Let me vim the PHP file as well, and let me change the global to underscore get. We write underscore post. So instead of underscore get, I'm using underscore post now. Okay, let me save and exit, clear screen. Let me come up over here and okay, let me open another tab and write down http://arif2.com. It again displays the same, and password is PUCIT. Let me correct the spelling of Kakamanna with a double N. Let's press login. You see the welcome message is displayed, but this time the values that the user have entered have not been appended in the URL. Rather, the name and the values pairs are embedded within the body of the HTTP request. Moreover, there is no limit of 2000 characters as was the case with the get method. However, a limitation of using post is since the variables are not displayed in the URL, it is not possible to bookmark this page. Okay. Well, dear students, to keep things simple and easy to understand, I have kept the code of both the index.html and process.php file very simple. I have not done any validation of form data, but remember that is important to protect your form from hackers and spammers. Also, you should always use PHP's HTML special character function that will replace certain HTML characters to safe characters, and that will prevent the attackers from exploiting the code by injecting HTML or JavaScript code using cross-site scripting. We will talk about this in some future session, inshallah. For the time being, let me open our favorite packet sniffing tool, Wireshark. Okay, so while this Wireshark is running, and let's check out, we are using post, whether the man in the middle can get hold of the information. So in the packet display filter field, let me write down HTTP to capture only the HTTP packets, and let me come over here on my browser and let me write down http://arif2.com. Let me write down the username as Kakamanna and the password I'm not going to tell you. Let me log in. So the welcome message is there. The man in the middle. Well, the man in the middle is sniffing all the network traffic, and you can see this is the packet listing window, this is the packet header detail window, and this is the packet content window. We talked about this tool many times before as well. Well, this packet has been sent by Kali to the server. You can view the contents. You can see this is the HTTP request message, host, user agent, accept language, accept encoding, and so on. This is the packet that has been sent from server to Kali. You can see all the messages over here. This is again that has been sent from Kali to the server, and if I move inside the packet header detail window, you can see it. So I am interested to see the username and password. Let me check out if I can see the username and password. Yes, over here you can see username is Kakamanna and password is PUCIT. Oh well, yes. As telnet was not secure, HTTP also sends all the information in clear and nothing is encrypted. Well, dear students, inshallah, in our next session, we will overcome this flaw because we will learn HTTPS, that is Hypertext Transfer Protocol over SSL. Well, that is all for today's session. I hope it was informative for you all. If you have liked it, please subscribe my YouTube channel and share it with your friends. Happy learning and Allah Hafiz.